Well guys, here we go. Of course, it's been a couple of day break on the old project, but pretty much back at her for the big final push to get her done. As you see here, we have the last two steps to install. Pretty much, this two-stepper is for the top deck, and this single stepper is here for the bottom deck. Really, I can climb it no problem, but anybody else with shorter legs might have a issue to get up onto the lower deck, because it's probably about 12 inches off the ground. However, the problem that I have is these tabs that basically are the mounting points of the step are, well, too long, pretty much on both sets of steps. Now, of course, I probably could just lop them off, let them hang with one bolt, or drill a second hole where I want them to be. But of course, being they have two holes, and it's probably the way they're designed to be held on with two bolts in each stringer, then of course that's kind of the way they're meant to be. So what my plan is to do is to dig down basically this L-shaped section of ground and sink them into the ground, whatever that is, 1.5 inches. However, when you do set steps directly on dirt, you do end up with some settling or shrinkage, and the steps sometimes become uneven. So what I'm going to do is put cement blocks under each stringer, and it should help minimize the shrinkage. So of course, what I'm probably going to do is mark out a section here where I want to dig. I want to have minimal disturbance of the ground, so therefore you don't have to re-landscape a whole pile, and then you'd be good to go. So pretty much, guys, let's fire up the shovel here and get ourselves some digging, and see what happens. Okay, so with the stairs removed, you can see the rough outline, of course, of where we're going to have to dig. But before we dig, I got some gravel there in that corner I want to pull back under the deck, because there's no use in throwing away a good gravel. So of course, with my weapon of choice for this job, I will use the rake, of course, to pull or push all that back to where she needs to be. Okay guys, so here we go. Pretty much as you've seen there, we got the holes, if you want to say, dug. The steps are just setting in there, just to give a general, idea of what it's going to look like. It kind of looks like they're not going to match right there, so I might have to bring, the end up or the other step's end down. Now, of course, if I wasn't going to put a blocking under these steps, I could basically bolt them in right now, as long as they were, level and all that good stuff. But of course, being I'm going to put blockings under them, I'm going to have to take the whole area-ish under, down another about 1.5 inches or so, to fit the blockings, of course, under, the stringers, just to give it extra, security over, settling. So of course, I got to remove these steps again, and then pretty much, dig a little more. Well guys, here we go. Got all the holes dug, of course. First block, second block, third block, and then over here is going to be almost one solid block. Pretty much comes the moment of truth here. Hopefully it's pretty close to being level, because you can't really fake unlevelness, I guess. You can put a little bit of gravelly sand, but you're going to have to tamp it down, or else when it settles you're going to have uneven stairs. Well guys, there we go. Got the 2 steps in. As you see, the concrete blocks are under it, pretty decent there. Probably going to backfill this edge a little bit, just so nobody steps on down and twists their ankle, because the ground is a little uneven. Eventually I will dig her back and put a landscaping tie around the edge so I can run the lawnmower down her, and then of course fill underneath the stairs with gravel, so therefore no weeds, no trimmings, stuff like that going on. And of course, obviously, the deck is green, the stairs are brown because they were a classified find. So, I probably will give them a sand down and maybe repaint them or recoat them with something. Or I'll just let them wear and weather, and then in a year or two when I go to recoat the deck, I will replace the boards, because the boards are probably already, 10 to 15 years old, so they're probably already needing to be, replaced then anyways. So I'll basically take a ratchet and tighten on down those bolts just to make sure they're in, where I want them. If this wood was older, it wasn't green, it was more drier, then you could probably pre-drill the holes to minimize the risk of splitting the wood when you run the lag bolts on through. Another overkill method you probably could have used was actually use carriage head bolts and run them all the way through and bolt them on the back side. But lag bolts are okay, it's what they recommend to do, and basically that's what I did. If these were like 10 feet tall stairs or 7 feet tall stairs where it was a deck coming off the back of a house, I might do something like that to have extreme hold, because at that height you do not want the stairs to let go. It would have been nice if they would have lined up with the edge of the deck here, but at the same time, you can't have it all, right? If I would have put thinner boards at the top, it probably would have lined up, but with the thinner deck boards they will flex more, so the 2x6 is thicker but it is stronger. I suppose I always can put something there to keep that edge from anybody tripping on it. Eventually there will be a railing, or at least a post there, so that will minimize that as well. And of course, in phase 2, there will be a post here, and then of course a railing running the rest of the way around the deck. Well, pretty much comes the big yard cleanup here. I did a dump run the other day, so all the construction garbage is gone, but right now there's a lot of rocks and stuff that I got to get off the lawn before it starts to grow, and I mow the lawn and turn each one of those rocks into projectiles. So pretty much guys, let's give the lawn a good old rakins and well, see what happens. Well guys, there we go. Pretty much just finished what I call power raking the lawn. pretty much with well, my handy dandy trusty rake that's about 10 years old. Raked the heck out of this here lawn. I've used that rake on multiple job sites multiple times, and well, it hasn't failed me yet. Well, of course, I got me about a half a barrel or so of rakings. Pretty much look, you can tell. Some of it was garbage that I threw out the fall. You know, some little pieces of plastic and such like that. A lot of it was grass clippings and all that dead stuff, and there is a few rocks in there. You know, you're not going to pick all the rocks out of her. However, of course, when I dug my big sump pump pit, I threw all the sandy, dirty rock stuff right here into the old fire pit hole, you know, that had grown from cleaning out the ash and all that. However, I'm not really happy or comfortable having, you know, rocks and stuff like that on the grass. So therefore, I'm pretty much going to dig it down, you know, take it maybe an inch or 3 below the surface, you know, putting all that stuff into here. I've got a couple of empty barrels. And then, of course, I have 2 barrels of this rough grass stuff that I'll probably throw in the bottom. And then I have a 3rd barrel here of really nice, clean, almost plantable, if you want to say, topsoil. So after I've got the hole filled with the what I'm going to call as garbage dirt, then of course we'll, you know, over cover it or so with the normal dirt, and, you know, throw some seed down if we get bored. Of course, the fire pit will probably go, you know, back there, you know, maybe somewhere in about there. So really, there's no point in getting fancy with the seeding, because well, the first fire you have, you're going to have probably a you know, a foot radius around the fire pit that you know, nothing's going to grow in anyways. So pretty much, guys, going to get digging here, just finishing up what I call the rough landscaping, and then taking it all from there. Okay, guys, so here we go. Of course, shoveled the first barrel full. Pretty much it's all in there. And roughly, I think I got me a 2nd barrel full here. I went around and scraped the outer edge. I think I'm going to touch it up again right about in there, but essentially what I've done is I've pretty much brought all that clay, dirt, rock stuff into the center. And in a way, I'm glad I did, because as you guys see there, I found about a 4-inch chunk of whatever that is, 1.5 inch galvanized pipe. I have no idea what it's from. It could be from one of the water lines or whatever's, but it was down in there, and obviously it came out of the sump pump hole, because that's where all this stuff came from. And I've never had a chunk of pipe like that in my my metal scrap metal corner or nothing. So of course, I guess it's a good thing I found her, because if a lawnmower would have caught her, it definitely would have been a death sentence for the old lawnmower. So pretty much going to take a 2nd barrel here, scoop all that stuff up, and then we should be really close to well, filling it back in. Well, guys, there we are. As you've seen, we got that hole all nicely filled on in. Pretty much I gave her a good old raking. Like I mentioned there, you can see it right now, but being this is the fire pit, it's just going to burn out anyway. Of course, got these stairs all installed and everything, and of course put some dirt, you know, around the edge to try to minimize any you know, tripping hazard. Then of course I gave the lawn itself a good old water. You can put some fertilizer down at this point if you wanted to. Of course, the fertilizer will dissolve, help the grass come back from, well, the huge beating it took building, you know, the deck and all that. Of course, there will be a part 8 eventually, once the ground settles and you know, a few more things happen. We will come back and do some of the finer landscaping. You know, I want to put ties at the foot of the stairs, of course gravel behind, and kind of minimize the edging that I have to do with the mower and the, you know, gas trimmer. Of course, there's going to be composite ties along this edge pretty much coming all the way down, and you know, kind of just like this wooden one is, you know, kind of keeping the wooden from rotting. The composite will last, well, the rest of my lifetime. But pretty much, guys, it's been a good project when you consider where we started from, you know, and how many days it took to get, you know, this far. We actually did very, very well, you know. The deck itself has turned out very, very well, and really it's about what I had in mind for my vision when I started this here project out. Of course, check back in next year or so, where we will be starting what I'm going to call phase 2 of this here deck. Essentially, it's going to be the railing around the deck itself, and then I'm going to build a shady area coming out here and then coming down. Basically, if you don't want to sit in the sun, you know, out here on the 10 by 12 deck, you can sit up here on like a 8 by 8 or 8 by 10 sunny type of, you know, overhang, if you want to say. But pretty much, guys, like I said, that concludes this here project for now. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.